Okay, that was all right. I think we're in. All right. Hey everybody. Welcome to my first video. I know, crazy. We're making history. Um, I'm making this video because it's something I'm very interested about, and I like to talk about to like my friends all the time. And I wanted to branch out, but I also wanted to practice my speaking skills on video because I'm not very good at it, and it might be very apparent throughout this whole video. So hold on to your hats, guys. Bear with me. I just want to get this across. I'm really curious to see what's going on with other people in their lives about stuff like this. So I'm rambling. I want to get to the point. And the point is this guy right here. Can you tell who that is? Huh? I'll give you a hint. He's got big feet. You know what they say about big feet? Big socks. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Okay. I want to talk about strange and like unexplainable experiences that happen firsthand to people and that, you know, they tell online, you know, trying to figure it out or see if they aren't the only one. That is like my favorite thing to read about and learn about, and, you know, just pass time looking into it. You know, if you want a good person to listen to, like that's really good at speaking about this stuff, go check out Mr. Ballin if you never heard about him. He's really good. My favorite is Headless Valley, the Nahani National Park. Best fucking thing ever. Oh my god, I have told that story to so many people and they go crazy about how it's a true story. And it's my favorite story ever. Okay. Check them out if you want to listen to someone that's really good at speaking, and it's a really interesting story, and it's all true. And if that's a good way to figure out the vibe that I like, you know, of storytelling. You know, because I like things to be real. I don't like fiction, right? I don't like creepypastas. You know, I really hate The Rake. I think it's so dumb. I'm sorry if that's like your hero or your favorite story. I'm sorry. It's so stupid. It's not real. We can go into that if you want to talk about it. I'm willing to do it. Let me know in the comments if you are very passionate about what I just said. But I want to talk about strange experiences, and I'll tell you guys mine. You know, it's weird. It's not about like Bigfoot or skinwalkers or Wendigos. It's a Ouija board experience, and it was a while ago, so my story's gonna be a little rough. But I think it's a pretty good story. It's just my memory's so bad, so this story is gonna be like a little iffy on time. Like, what's the word? I don't see. I'm already struggling now, so buckle up. So my unexplainable story, or like strange and paranormal, I guess, was my brother Nick, my older brother Nick, was house sitting, right? And he wasn't house sitting. I think his girlfriend, Maya, was house sitting for her uncle or something like that. And they were over there and they bought a Ouija board and they were playing with it, and they invited me to come over and play, like, you know, check it out because they know I'm pretty interested in this stuff. I said, "Oh hell yeah, I'm there," because I never touched a Ouija board before, and I have listened to so many stories about them that I'm like, I have to check this out. And that reminded me of a time where I looked up how do Ouija boards work, and the idea of how a Ouija board work is that, well, this is what the article said. You know, I don't know if it was like this, you know, clinical study. Really doubt it. Which that'd be pretty interesting. I wonder if anyone's done something like that. It said our bodies make micro movements all the time, but our brain doesn't register it because it's so small and so constant that it's just irrelevant to information that we're processing. You know, our brain would rather focus on what's moving around us instead of like our finger like moving just very, very, very subtly. And so the idea is that if you all put your hands on a planchette, and I think that's what it's called, that little movable piece, if everyone puts their hand on a planchette and everyone's body is making really small movements that they don't realize, is that's how we get words out of it. And then, you know, like my belief was that our brain will see it go to a letter, or maybe yes or no. If it makes a small movement, then our brain thinks, oh, it's going to the letter B, or it's going to yes. So if it goes to it moves slightly to yes, oh, the answer is yes. If we asked a yes or no question, or if we were asking, do you like books or movies better, and it moved to B first, and it's like, oh, the next letter is going to be O. So our brain kind of makes small movements towards O, and we just don't even know. And I wanted to test that theory. When I got there, they talked about how they were playing with it, and their experience for the time was it was a lot of their family relatives like coming to talk to them. Like they weren't there in the house, like they didn't die there, but they said they came down from like heaven or something like that and wanted to talk. And I think Nick's family was being the dominant energy in the room, and that was the only people they could really get through to. And this was like the day before. So this is what this is what happened yesterday. And so I'm like, okay, you know, in my mind I'm thinking, this is bullshit, you know, this is clearly just delusions that our brain does to make us, you know, think that these are the people we're really talking to. Because I was also under the assumption that you can't talk to someone that's died and, you know, left the area that they died. You know, I didn't think they could come visit. And so we start talking, and Maya really wanted to know if any of my family relatives were there. And so I'm like, is anyone here my family member? And I remember whenever we asked a yes or no question, let's imagine this is just a Ouija board just for like idea of movement. It would always start in the middle, like that's where it wanted to be, and it would go straight up, and then it would either go to the right, which was no, or to the left, which was yes. And that's how it answered. It would always go like that. It would never cut diagonally. It would go up to the side. And it went to yes. And I'm like, okay, who is it? You know, what's your name? And it went from yes, it went back to the middle. Then I went to a W. Then I went to A. Then I went to L. Then I went to T. And it spelled out Walter. And I'm like, Walter? I don't know a Walter. No one recently passed away that was a Walter. I don't remember anyone talking about a Walter. And so I said, Walter who? What side of the family are you on? And then it went to M, and then went to U, L, and went to Mulvaney. I'm like, Walter Mulvaney? I never met a Walter Mulvaney. But what really happened was it spelled M-U-L, and I'm like, wait, Mulvaney? Are you Walter Mulvaney? And it went to M-U-L, and it was making its way to V, and it stopped dead in its track, and then went straight up, went to yes, and I was like, ooh, and I got really, like, I got the goosebumps and everything. I was really excited. And then I wanted to test the theory, so I asked a yes or no question, and I was I did kind of take a bet on this one that the answer was going to be yes. And so what happened was, no, I didn't make a bet that it was going to, hold on. There we go, sorry. The power mode thing popped up and I had to close it. Sorry about that. So I asked a yes or no question. It was going up and I was ready to test if it really is subtle movements. So my theory was it was about to turn left. Like I could feel it slightly move left. And so I pushed against it and I was like, okay, we're gonna go to no. If I can manipulate this and make our brains, well, my Nick's brains think that it's a no response, then it would stop fighting a little bit and then it would start moving to no. Because we did ask it questions and there would seem to be hesitation. And so I asked it. So I didn't ask it. I pushed it to no, really slightly. And I felt resistance. I'm like, okay, so their brains deep down are still thinking it's a yes question, or maybe they haven't clicked that it might want to go to yes. So I push a little harder. Doesn't budge at all. And I mean, at all, it doesn't budge. And I'm like, okay, maybe I gotta really make it obvious that it wants to go to no. So I lean my body in as like subtly as I can, and they're really focused on the board right now. Like they're like, whoa, this is crazy. Where's it gonna go? Like their faces had zero anticipation. They were like, where is it gonna go? They weren't going, oh, it's going yes at all, right? So I'm putting my body in, I'm leaning, and this was back when I was in way better shape and could actually move shit around. And so I'm leaning into it, and then all of a sudden I just got this rush of like, you're playing a dangerous game, like I got this feeling of the same feeling of being scolded by my mom when I was younger, of like, you cut that shit out, like I just got this overwhelming feeling, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. So I instantly took off all my pressure. I didn't take my hands off the planchette, but I took all my weight out of it, and I relaxed my arms, and it didn't like fling to the yes, because if they were fighting me, they would not have been able to predict that I would release my weight all of a sudden, right? So it did not go lurching forward, but it stayed still. And I was like, what the fuck? And it stayed absolutely still. And I'm putting no pressure on it. And then it was so slow too. It was so annoying asking it questions. It was unbelievably slow. And then it slowly started going to yes. And that's when I'm like, this is too much for me. But that's when I'm like, okay, you know what? We might be talking to ghosts. And then that's still not the wildest part of this story. The wildest part is coming up. I'm sorry if this is a bad story, like poorly told, but I'm no professional. So then I started to get a little bit more confidence with this thing. So I started asking, well, if you're really there, like I started kind of being an ass. I'm like, well, if you're really there, can you show yourself? And it went to no, and it was like a pretty upset no. It felt upset, like, no, I can't do that. Are you serious? I'm like, can you at least move something? And then it went to no again, and it was already on no, and it went like this. It went, and it was like pissed. Like, are you serious? You're asking me that question? Like, you think that's gonna be different than revealing myself? And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop being so challenging of the spirits. And so then Maya asked, like, I can't remember what exactly happened before, because what happened to me was so wild, but something was like involved with Maya's dad, I think. And then I can't remember what happened exactly before, because all I can remember is this one part where all of a sudden I felt a blue, kind of staticky handprint grab my left butt cheek and squeeze. A blue handprint. I felt every single individual digit on my ass. Okay, this wasn't like a weird kind of like muscle cramp. This was a handprint, and it was so obviously a handprint in the moment, and it was blue. Have you ever felt the color blue? It's wild. It's wild. Like the only other time you can like taste or feel colors is, maybe like when your brain's kind of like cross wired, and there's some weird stuff where like people associates numbers with colors or tastes, or if you're on some certain drugs, like I know peyote does that, because I watched the show Longmire, and Branch got like laced with it, and he tasted the color purple. And when I saw that scene, my brain was like, oh my god, this is like the time of the ghost, right? So, newsflash, guys, I don't do drugs, all right? There's a kind of like a running joke with people that I'm Mormon, because I'm like such a bland person. Like, I'm that description, I think it was Bob's Burgers, of like, if I was a spice, I would be flour. That's me. So, I wasn't under the influence of anything to feel that. And it was just absolutely wild. And then Maya starts going like, oh my god, that's crazy, that's amazing. And because her dad was kind of like one of those baseball guys, I guess you could say, where they like would slap each other's asses of like, yeah, good job kind of thing, and said he was kind of like one of those people. And I don't know why he chose to do it to me. But she said that was her dad, and she was like, could not be told otherwise. And I'm like, okay, I believe you. I'm not gonna argue with you, but we're done. I don't want to play anymore. So we said goodbye, and I don't know. Life after that was like, felt so weird for like a couple weeks, and then I forgot about it. I would only remember that story if we were ever talking about ghosts, and then I'm like, it would come right back immediately. I'm like, oh, I gotta tell you this time about when I played with a Ouija board. And that was my one and only time playing with a Ouija board. Would I do it again? Only under a circumstance, if it was like kind of like what happened last time, where people are playing with it beforehand, and like, oh yeah, my family shows up like all the time, you want to talk to them? I'd be like, yeah, okay. I would not be willing to get into a Ouija board session without someone else testing the waters. Okay, I know you're a coward for that. Yeah, no denying that. So that's the only time I would do it. But I want to know, maybe, have you guys played with a Ouija board? If you have, and there's a crazy story, let me know in the comments. I'd love to read it. I'd love to see what your experience was like compared to mine, because they seem to change so drastically. The only time I have an issue with believing a Ouija board story is if it's like, I talked to Lucifer and he possessed my sister and she did backflips and her head turned 360 and spoke in a deep voice. Those stories. I'm like, nah. But I don't know. Where do you draw the line? I'm curious now. And if you never played with a Ouija board, but you do have a strange experience, whether you were hiking, camping, or driving down a country road, I would love to know, personally. I would love to know. I'd love to talk to you about it, down in the comments. It doesn't have to be like a long, elaborate story. It could just be a quick summary, and that's... Okay, I don't know if my mind is playing tricks on me, but I swear I just saw the shadow move in that corner right there. I go, wow. We're talking about ghosts, and so my brain's all paranoid. We've been having electrical issues because of the crazy storms. But anyways, I'll end it there. I'm probably boring the hell out of you. So, let me know. Talk about it. Go check out Mr. Ballin. He's amazing. Great storyteller. If you're gonna leave, right? Go look into Nahanni Valley. I can't remember. No, but the name of the video is the Headless Valley. So look into that. Look into there's some sort of wolf, like wolves one. I can't remember the name. Just look up Mr. Ballin Wolves and then look up Mr. Ballin Sierra Sounds. Those are the 3 favorite of mine. Like those are my favorites. I don't really care about like ghost stories because I don't know. I just don't want to. I just don't want to relive ghosts because I think ghosts are one of the scariest. Yeah, I'm getting paranoid now just talking about it. Okay, all right. Have fun. Have a good night. Have a great day if it's the morning. Go outside. If you can't go outside, watch a video, learn something. I don't know, but enjoy just a little bit. All right, goodbye.